Okay, Israel. Hope everybody is doing well today. Shout out all the camps out there getting this word out, teaching. Kazaki, SOW, Virginia. Quad-Top, SOW, Houston. Zion, SW, Rochester, New York. Kawakab and his congregation in Cali and in Georgia. Hope everybody is doing well today. We're not going to hyper-focus tonight's class on Iran, even though what we went over last Monday is definitely rocking and rolling, and that is not planning on stopping anytime soon. So we'll have plenty of opportunity to delve in that topic. But in the meantime, we're going to try to stay on the topics we were kind of going into 2 Mondays ago. And the first of those classes was the edification of the heavenly hierarchy. And in that class, we discussed that Christ had created all the principalities on earth. And we tried to explain that those principalities, or at least some of those principalities, were actual angelic forces that were in charge of regions, nations, and kingdoms and domains. Okay, and we kind of went into Ezekiel 28 because it explained how there was a prophecy against the principality of Tyre and Zidon and the actual king of Tyre and Zidon, and how the Most High was correcting and chastising the nation and the principality for what was transpiring in the region. And we know that when he was talking about Tyre and Zidon, he was talking about the Phoenician Empire and the Carthaginian Empire, as well as the kingdom of Tyre and Zidon. And it was important that we took our time to explain that, because now we're going to go into the principality that is in charge of the entire earth. Now, we're going to, and that principality that's in charge of the entire earth is Satan. But before we go into that, let's go back to Colossians chapter 1, verse 15 through 17. Colossians chapter 1, verse 15 through 17. And we're going to get started on this chapter and this topic about Satan. Because once again, the title is Satan, His Principalities, and War in Heaven. I'm not sure if we'll get to the War in Heaven part, but we'll try. We just want to explain about Satan and the forces that he is in charge of, and then we will try to eventually get into concepts in Revelations 12 and different scenarios that explain this war in heaven that you read about in Revelations 12 and 7. But let's do this. Colossians chapter 1 and 15.
Colossians chapter 1 and verse 15 reads, "Who is the image of the invisible power?"
The image of the invisible power is talking about Christ. Christ is the image of the invisible power. I mean, after that is Miles Wallace stuff. That mail is here, so you can slide
down.
Yeah. So read that verse again, verse 15.
Colossians chapter 1 and verse 15 reads, "Who is the image of the invisible power?"
So listen, the image of the invisible power is talking about Christ. Okay? Read on.
Come. The firstborn of every creature.
Mm-hmm.
For by him were all things created that are in heaven.
Everything that was created in the physical realm, the fourth dimension in heaven. Read on. Or heaven on earth. The earth. Read on.
That are in heaven and that are in earth.
So we know that the heaven and the skies and the fourth dimension and on the physical terrestrial ground, Christ had his hand in creating. Read on.
Visible and invisible.
Visible and invisible. That means the invisible creatures are obviously talking about angelic forces.
The invisible creatures.
The invisible creatures are talking about the entities that were created by Christ that you cannot see. Okay? Read on.
Come. Whether they be thrown.
And we went into this, the first class, that the Most High gives the power for certain of these invisible forces to have their own thrones. Read on.
Or dominions.
Or dominions or regions that these particular forces control.
Okay.
Read on.
Or principalities.
Principalities just means an authority. So he's saying there are visible and invisible authorities all around you. Now we know that there are physical authorities, leaders, elected officials, people that have decision-making abilities in all the regions around you. But along with those physical decision makers, you have principalities that's over, spiritual principalities that are over the regions as well. Yes, my wolf.
So those principalities is over the dominions and thrones?
The principalities have their own dominions and have their own thrones. Okay?
There's structure and order.
There's a structure in the physical realm, and that same structure that's in the physical realm is in the spiritual realm. We understand that in the physical realm, you have your mayors, you have your senators, you have your congressmen, congresswomen, then you get all the way up, vice president and president. All kingdoms have similar type of governments. And there's different jurisdictional individuals who are in charge. You got Greg Abbott, who is the what is he? What is he?
I believe
He's the governor. Yes.
So he was, but he wasn't that before.
He was the damn Greg Abbott was the damn was the child support guy. He was the AG. He was the AG. But there's all these different levels of authority that rise up from the bottom up. But in the spiritual realm, it's the same way. Okay? But Christ is in control of creating all of these dominions, these powers, these leaders in the physical and in the spiritual. We understand in Proverbs 21:1, the Most High is in control of what? He's in the mind of all the kings. But he's in control of the mind of the kings, and he has the power over the principalities themselves. We talked about how Christ and Michael went to go to war with the principality in Persia. Because the Persian principality had to go and get eradicated in order for the Greeks to start gaining their momentum. And we talked about how even during that time, that happened when the Persian Empire was at their apex. The wars in heaven actually had to happen before it was manifest on earth.
Yeah.
Okay? So just keep in mind this connection between what happens in the spiritual realm precedes what's going to actually happen in the physical.
On earth as it is in heaven.
Well, yes, you can say that. You can say that. So with that being the case, Christ is the power that's in control of all. Continue.
Or powers. All things were created by him and for him.
So even all of these principalities had a job, had a responsibility, and they were created for Christ and by Christ. Why is this important? Because we're about to go and explain and teach about Satan. Satan, a lot of times, is given too much credit for the negative that's happening on the earth. And then you got some people that don't believe there's a Satan at all. So you have these two extreme opposite polarities of what is actually real. Some people don't think there is any Satan is just negative in people. And some people think that Satan literally has the power to box with Christ and be victorious. Some people think that that negative left side has enough power to actually challenge Christ. And that is extreme, and it's off too. And it comes and it derives from that weird Greek mythology. You got Zeus fighting Hades and their brothers, and they got beef, and they're always vying for power one versus another. And you got the Poseidon guy in the water. Nobody respects him, but it's just like Hades and Zeus. Nobody respects that guy.
Water guy.
He's just a water guy. But anyway, the point is, there's this idea that there's this war and there's actually a striving between Christ and Satan, like they're on an equal level. But when you're reading the scriptures, Christ made all of these dominions and he made all these principalities to serve the Heavenly Father or Christ and to serve Christ's purpose. We can't ever forget that. So Satan was literally created to serve Christ's purpose. And with that, we're going to go to the next verse, and that is in St. John chapter 14 and verse 30. Matter of fact, we didn't finish Colossians. Finish Colossians verse 17.
Colossians chapter 1, verse 17 reads, "And he is before all things, and by him all things consist."
By Christ all things consist, and before, meaning in front of all of his creation, is the actual creator. But Christ made all of the principalities, all of the force, all the angelic forces in the world, visible or invisible. Okay, now let's get to St. John chapter 14 and verse 30.
John 14:30.
I need you to get a little bit louder. Let's get it going.
Okay. John chapter 14, verse 30. "Hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world cometh, and hath nothing in me."
The prince of this world is talking about Satan. And when the prince of this world starts to take over the world, what the principles that Satan stands for are directly opposite of what Christ represents. But that doesn't mean that Satan is not doing his exact job. And we're going to go into all of the functions of Satan down the line. We'll get into that after we get past this class, which might take 2 classes. But just so we know, the prince of this world was not Christ. There's a verse that Christ said, if this kingdom was about me, my servants would fight. Once it was revealed that I was being arrested.
I'm out of this world.
But once again, what paralyzed his servants when he got arrested? Fear. But that's another story. I want to kind of stay on path. The prince of this world is diametrically opposed to the principles Christ was teaching and standing on. Okay? With that. But he is the prince of this world, and the Most High created that entity to fulfill a purpose. Now, with that being the case, let's go to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12.
Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood."
People want to think that the battles that we fight are just what's in your mind. This is a verse to counter the individuals who don't think there's a Satan. Because a lot of times we want to oversimplify our battle and just say it is only in our mind and it's only the thoughts that we have to control. And that's only partially true. Yes, you have to fight the negative inside of you. Yes, you have to attack your outlook. Yes, you have to fight the things that are inside of you. And I don't want to sit back here because there's a lot of Christians. There's a heavy sentiment out there that paints all the world's problems on the devil. And that's cap 2. So we understand from saying the scriptures, it's not all Satan's fault. But it's not just on a simplistic level that it's just in you. It's a combination of both. And we're going to go into this in a little bit. It is a combination of fighting the negative inside of you, knowing what your issues are and attacking them, and also knowing, read it from the top, 6 and 12.
Ephesians 6 and 12. "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood."
We're not fighting just against our minds or in some kind of physical realm. The battles that we have are not just in a physical realm. Read on.
So there can be character flaws you're born with.
Mm-hmm.
And there can be a spiritual adversary at the same time.
At the same time. That is exploiting those things that are inside of you. And that we're going to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're not fighting against flesh and blood. Read on.
"But against principalities, against powers."
But listen, the principalities start in the spiritual realm. We just explained that the Most High created principalities that are visible and are invisible. And we're fighting against principalities and forces that start in the invisible realm, and the powers that be that choose to serve that entity manifest your battle in the physical, whether it's through propaganda, whether it's through media. Listen, for the uninitiated, so to speak, you can sit back here and go on Instagram, TikTok, and get lost in that place. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. Big time.
And you can get lost into whatever vice that you choose. Whatever you're into, whatever tickles your fancy, so to speak,
Yeah.
you can find it, you can fuel it, and it will exploit you. So what it's saying is, the battles that we fight aren't just terrestrial. It's not just what's inside of you. It is terrestrial, and it is in the spiritual realm as well. And we're going to keep painting this picture as we continue. Read verse 12 from the top.
Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
It says you're fighting against the rulers of the darkness of this world. But the rulers of the darkness of this world serve who? They still serve an invisible power that helps to orchestrate all the vices and the weaknesses that we fall short of every single day in our existence. This is why we preach everybody to be careful about who you spend time with. Be conscious of the circle of friends you give yourself to. Be conscious of what you sit back here and watch on television, what you give your mind to on the social media. Because all those things
Have an influence associated
have a spiritual influence on you that makes whatever you're battling, what? It amplifies. Does it mean that it puts something in your mind that wasn't there? Not necessarily. What's inside of you is inside of you. But the principalities and powers and rulers of darkness, it amplifies everything that's inside of you to break you down and make you weaker. Have you said, well, I might not be thinking about having a beer. But if I'm watching television and I see some delicious beer on television, what am I want to do?
It amplifies the latent desires already there.
That's the point. Listen, the delicious beer, I'm watching the guy crack the bottle up. And it's like, man, I know that's delicious beer right there. I know it. It's ice cold beer. Man, you know what? I deserve it. I'm going to go to the store. Yeah, Bush beer.
The fighting spirit.
Yeah, well, they got Canelo out there, bro, with Modelo. And all of a sudden, you want to go to get some beer, or you want to go to a bar and just enjoy the ambiance. Just drink beer and watch sports. Whatever. Listen, I'm just giving a very basic battle that people face every day. Miller time. It can be Miller time. It can be any time you want. Miller time can be any time.
Well, that influence, it's like it says, add no fuel to a fire.
But we're using beer.
Yeah.
But just add your vice and plug it in. Because this is what you're fighting. This is what amplifies. But marketing is an aspect of feeding the flesh. Fueling the flesh. But it's not just marketing. It's wherever you go. There's always these enticements to pull you out of the spirit you're trying to be in for Christ. It lets you know that it's not just the negative in you that's already in you, but it's also your environment that is trying to dictate your decision making. And for those of us, we would be foolish to tell ourselves that there is not an outside environment that tries to amplify the vice in you. And that outside environment is manipulated and controlled by rulers of darkness, by principalities in the flesh and outside the flesh. That can't be denied. Okay? Continue.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
And there's no doubt that you're fighting spiritual wickedness in high places. How many times, even you have a certain vibration on the earth? You sit back here, you go to your job, but it doesn't even have to be media. As a sister, you can sit back here and talk to co-workers. And your co-workers talk about all the extra time they have, all the conveniences of life they have, all the things they have and you don't have. What does that bring out in you? Jealousy, anger, frustration, envy. Why can't I get what they have? Why does this person have something that I don't have? If that's not spiritual wickedness, because it's spiritual wickedness because this entire world is on a different vibration than how spiritual people are supposed to live and act. Because when you start sitting back here and opening this book and teaching and communicating how you're supposed to live, verbatim according to the scriptures, are you not looked upon like you're crazy?
Yep.
When you sit back here and try to live by a spiritual standard, you stick out like a sore thumb because this entire vibration on this earth is not built on living by a spiritual standard. And that's how you know you're fighting against spiritual wickedness in high places. And it's a darkness in this world that is setting up this environment to go opposite of how you're supposed to live.
Just like there's systematic racism, there's also systematic influence.
Black men can understand the systematic racism.
Yeah. That makes sense. Because how do they perpetuate the same systems?
But how about the systems are really just set up to corrupt everybody around you? That's what the real system is set up to do. Is to corrupt everybody in their pursuit of happiness.
Yep.
Okay? And what we're going to go into now, hold this, we'll let this go, and go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 3, and verse 20 to 22. Because I want to make sure that as we're explaining Satan and we start talking about his characteristics and his influence and his influences and how he operates on the earth, because we know he is the ruler of this world. And we're going to continue to prove that. But he's the ruler of this world, but it's not just on him. Because once again, a lot of your Christians blame all sin from the devil. Am I right or wrong? They'll sit back here and pin all sin on the diablo.
Yeah.
Like he's the guy that controls sin. He didn't sit back and create sin. His job is to expose those who choose sin.
Yeah.
And we'll go into that in time. That is what Satan's number one responsibility is. Is to sit back here and expose the negative that you already wanted inside of you. But before we go into that, let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verse 20 to 22.
2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 20.
Because we can't forget that when the Most High, as the beginning of our nation and sort of developing us, there was one thing he never took out of our hearts. Read that.
And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart.
The Most High never took from our people a wicked heart. Matter of fact, read verse 19.
Come, verse 19. And thy glory went through 4 gates of fire, and of earthquake, and of wind, and of cold, that thou mightest give the law unto the seed of Jacob, and diligence unto the generation of Israel.
So what is it saying? The Most High sat back here, Christ, and went through a bunch of ups and downs to make sure we received the law.
Yeah.
To have a fair shot to overcome what's inside of us. Just like the devil doesn't have all this power, but he has some power. The Most High gave us enough to equip us to fight what's inside of us. He gave us the law. But read on.
Come, verse 20. And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart.
He said he gave us the law, but never took away the wicked heart in us. So what does that mean? What does that mean? If he gave us the law, but never took the wicked heart out of us,
We have a battle.
we have to fight. And he gives us all the tools we need to fight our battle. And this is the battle that the Lord set up for each and every one of us. This is why when you read Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 15, what did Moses tell the nation of Israel before he was about to die?
You, guys, I got quote. So you're gonna utterly corrupt
Nope,
yourselves.
nope, nope, not 30 and 15. Somebody might as well get it. Deuteronomy 30 and 15. I hope it's the right verse, so I don't know anything either. Y'all know that verse? I don't know it either. No, I think it's 30 and 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 15 reads.
Oh yeah. I see.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
See, I have set before thee
It's perfect.
this day life and good.
Moses is like, you have the opportunity to live life to the fullest and live a good life if you choose to follow these laws and live right. Read on.
Come. And death and evil.
Or you're going to choose death and evil. So what did Christ set up from the beginning? He set up all kind of principalities. Principalities that are good and principalities that are evil.
We didn't say either.
It's just now that this world has gotten more corrupt. The virtue and the good is all but none. All you got is the scriptures and the handful of people that choose to live right. But Christ made sure he didn't give us, he made sure that evil wasn't coming out of us. He wasn't taking that evil out of us because why? Why didn't Christ take the evil out of us? The pride. Why didn't he take the pride and the ego and the selfishness out of us? Yes, sir. Yes. Listen, he's not giving us something for nothing anymore. Remember he gave Adam something for nothing? And what did he do? He squandered it away. So after Adam, everybody had to fight for everything they got. So now we're here. He gave us the law. He gave us all the tools we need to fight our battles, but he never took that sin out of you. That part of you that wants to control, that hate, that bitterness, that evil, that envy out of you. So because he didn't take that out of you, now you have a principality or an invincible principality that can use what? What's inside of you to exploit you if you let them. And that's what the nature of the battle is. So there is a Satan. There is a spiritual entity called Satan that controls the world, that controls the vibration of how things operate on this world. But then also we have the scriptures. Also we have the law. So what are we going to do? What are we going to choose? Now, we are... What verse did you finish at in 2 Ezra 3 and 20?
Was that 20?
Read verse 21, read to verse 22.
God. Verse 20, 2 Ezra 3 and 20. And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them.
Wow.
So the hope was that the law was going to build in your spirit and grow and develop, but that wicked heart was never going to leave.
But it could counterbalance the wicked heart. It's strong enough to
The
counterbalance.
scriptures and your desire is enough to counterbalance what's inside of you. Because Christ said he won't give you anything you can't what? So he gives you enough. But it doesn't mean that this vibration that's in this earth, that's set up by the prince of the power of the air, isn't formidable. It isn't put together to fuel every insecurity you got, every fear you got, every doubt you have, every lust you got. So you're in a battle. This is why when you read in Ephesians 6 and 12, we're wrestling against principalities, powers, against the rulers of darkness. Yeah, there's wickedness in us. But you have to fight every day to not let what you see dominate your reality. Because it's very easy to let what's inside of you, the negative that's inside of you, control you and overcome you. And that's the battle. But the Most High is not going to let us just scoot away from this battle because we can sing songs in Christ's name and go to church and be little good boys and gals. That ain't going to work. There actually has to be a fight, a conscientious decision to fight what's inside of you if you want to obtain the victory. And believe me, the kingdom is worth the fight. The kingdom is worth the attacking of what's inside of you. And this is why when you come in and when you continue to move forward, it feels like you're not even the same person when you start getting close to the Most High. Because you're not. You have to go to war with every impulse, every feeling, every part of you that wants to be who it used to be. But let's continue in Ezra.
Come, verse 21. For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed.
Once again, the Most High gave Adam everything, but he still had a wicked heart. He had an evil heart inside. Read on.
And was overcome. And so be all they that are born of him.
Everybody born of Adam is born with an evil heart. Somewhere in your spirit is negative, hateful, and cruel, or dominated by lust. And the environment that we live in, especially America,
Just supports.
just feeds what's already inside of you. But we can't dismiss the reality that Satan runs this environment. And that his purpose is to sit back here and put you in situations where you choose to get weak, or you choose to fuel that lust. And he gives you an easy accessibility to whatever you want to tap into. That is satanic. But if you fall because you fell. Satan didn't make you fall. You chose to go left, and you fell accordingly. Okay, continue.
Verse 22. Thus, infirmity was made permanent.
Meaning that sickness inside of you is made permanent. The sickness inside of you is permanent. It ain't going nowhere. So every day of your life is about managing that sickness. Every day of your life is about staying on top of that sickness. That's what we have to do as spiritual beings. But Satan's job every day is to put scenarios in front of you to justify you choosing the flesh. I knew a brother, I'm not going to name his name, but I remember he said he was so angry at what happened in the camp this day that he wanted to smoke a fat rock. And I was like, damn, that's extreme. But if you think about it, the only thing that was extreme about it was that wasn't a drug that I ever wanted to use or ever use in my life. But how many of us get mad and drink alcohol? How many of us get mad and just want to feed the flesh sexually? How many of us get mad and want to just go to sleep? How many of us sit back here and get mad and use our anger as a justification to do something wicked? So whether the dude say, yeah, I was angry and I chose to sit back, I want to smoke crack. That's no different than anybody who's angry that chooses a vice to comfort their flesh. So once again, Satan uses his entire environment and all the powers in his accessibility to put the vice of our choosing right in front of us. So Satan is real, and we're explaining how he is able to manifest his power. He's able to have power because of the negative in us that we don't manage and stay on top of. So Satan doesn't have all this power, but he has enough power to put what you really want in the flesh in your face.
And then present the opportunity for you to choose it.
That's the point. Or choose the Most High. And that's all Satan's job. But how about the Most High created Satan for that particular job? Because without Satan, how would the Most High know how serious you are to please him? You got to have a Satan there. You have to have an adversary. But what is he the adversary to? Your walk to please the Heavenly Father. Does that make sense? because we're trying to clarify the purpose of the spirit Satan. He has power in this realm to make it harder for us to stay focused on the Most High. How hard is it to really lock your mind in and to stay on top of your feelings and emotions? Doesn't that get very difficult at times?
It's exhausting sometimes.
But why? It's because there's all type of things around you that's pulling you to go different directions. Place stomping grounds you done been. How many times you sit back and drive by a neighborhood and kind of get weak? Like, I wonder what's going on over there. I used to get loose over there. Is that the spot still? I don't know. Do I need to go by and check out and see what's happening over there? Man, I used to be good times over there. Great times. You know, no. Keep driving straight. Keep driving straight. You know, that happens to people. And you're douche. Like, douche. You're like, no. I gotta keep driving straight. No. You're sending prayers up, trying to be strong. You ever sit back and driven, you tell yourself no, and all of a sudden you just take a right? What made me take a right? Why did I take this damn right when I said I didn't want to take this right?
My car's just turned that way.
Just a quick block.
I just want to drive by. I just want to drive by. Why do you want to drive by? What's there? Why do you want to do that? That is that lust that's constantly sitting back here and presenting in front of yourself. Or remember we beat the school and downstairs it was always smelling like trees out? Yeah. And that wasn't my thing, but I know it was a thing for brothers side. They sit back like, I'm a new man, though. I'm a new man in Christ. I don't do that no more. We're like, no, they're having a good time. Those were the days. It's like, damn, what? You see, man, they're going to get in their car fast. Like, why should I get in the car so fast? Oh, I know. I know why.
You gotta run.
I know why. You gotta get the hell out of there. You gotta run, not walk. But a lot of times, the environment around us is literally set up to expose if you want to go back to that direction or not.
Because you say, I'm done with that life. And then...
Well, you'll say it until you drive by something that reminds you of what you had.
We'll be at the fair. We'll be at the fair working. Brothers are working, dog tired, sweating, going hard, sun all day. And then somebody will come up to the table and say, man, I like you guys. Something about you guys is different. You think about to teach the scripture and pull out a little bottle of cocaine and a little baggie. I can say, here you go, man. That's on me. And walks off. I'm like, what the hell is this? What is this about? Or people say, I don't pay you in money. Can I pay you in weed?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, listen. We're selling oil for profit. We're not selling fragrances for drugs. Or you just get those magic phone calls at 11:45 out of nowhere. And it's always somebody that you used to know. They're just so interested in your life right now. The moment you cut them off, they just want to know what's going on. It's always spirits that are trying to pull us back, like kind of like a magnet. It's really like a magnet. So I want to kind of go one place real quick, bro. So I set this day before you. Good and life and death. Good and evil.
Deuteronomy 30:15.
Yeah, I see that right there. Go to verse 17 real quick. It's real fast. The same chapter.
Where you going?
This is verse 17. I'm not going to go far off the point.
Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 17 reads,
Yeah.
But if thine heart turn away.
See, the point is, these things were strategically set up to turn your heart away. The smoke, when you come out of class, the 11:45 phone call for no reason, the hang out with the brothers and everything's good and we're having it's like a work vacation where we're working for hours, but we're having a good time eating food together. Somebody just brings drugs on the table. It was really all about the brotherhood and the bond, right? Or you're trying to sell cologne and say, listen, man, I only have $10, but I do got a bag of weed. Like, why are these vices opening up?
Do you really think it's just by happenstance, or it's not spiritual? It's definitely spiritual because all around you, there are forces here that were created to expose what's inside of you,
to turn your heart away, like you've been saying.
Well, the thing is, that Satan's job, and we're going to go into this in a few weeks. But Satan's job is to sit back here and let you run your course. You make these negative decisions that are thrown in front of your face that expose what's inside of you, so that when everything is said and done, this is why this person isn't worth the kingdom.
I have the proof.
And this is the proof. I got receipts, like people like to say.
Yeah.
These are the receipts why this person doesn't deserve the kingdom. We'll go into that later.
Can I finish something too?
Yes, definitely.
Really?
Come. So that thou wilt not hear.
Because the word is what counterbalances the word, the law, the wisdom of the scriptures, the testimonies of Christ, and the prophets are what we have and all we have besides the bond of the brotherhood to counterbalance all these strategically set up pulls. Read.
But shalt be drawn away.
To draw us away, to pour our interest and our passion from the Most High. Read.
And worship other gods.
And commit to other powers.
Because we know, and I'm not going too far into it, I'm not going to let you go, Shamsu, but what did the serving of the other gods give us? When you sat back here and you look into all the idolatry, there were promises of getting a larger harvest, making more money. There was things that advanced you financially, that advanced you, gave you more children, that gave you an augmentation of your life. So the idolatry, yes, it was wicked, but what was the bait? I need more workers. I need more children to help me on my farm. I need a larger harvest to get out of the red. I'm tired of robbing Peter to pay Paul. So if I give myself to this idol, I can advance. You read in Jeremiah, the Jews were angry and were hesitant to give up serving an idol because they're like, how are we going to sit back here and have a successful crop session this year? So what was happening is we were diminishing in our as a nation, and the Most High was cursing our crops. So the only solution to the crops from being cursed is more idolatry.
Not to change the behavior.
Not to change your behavior, but do more idolatry. But this is the thinking that we do now. My conditions are messed up. How do I get out of my conditions? Maybe I got to corrupt myself even more. But the conditions are set up because to expose, you didn't have any, spiritual principle or integrity in the first place. But keep going to your point.
No, read on.
Come.
To worship what?
And worship other gods.
To take your dedication and commitment and focus from the Most High in the book, to give that same commitment, focus, and dedication to an alternate pursuit that benefits you on a carnal, physical level. Read.
And serve them.
And the key point is not serve the Most High. You're going to serve either way. You're going to serve the idol, the vice, the lust, the weakness, or the spiritual power.
Done.
The Most High.
Done. Good. So let's go from there. You finished 2 Ezra 3 and 22, right? Let's keep going.
22 from the top. Thus infirmity was made permanent, and the law also in the heart of the people with the malignity of the root.
Listen, that malignant root was not, we went to that, for those remember malignant root, we went to like many weeks of malignant root. I was like around in the summer. It was a summer. It was a summer. It was a summer of malignant root. Went into that a lot, but just explaining that malignant root never left us. So because that wickedness never left us, there was a weakness that was open to be exploited. Okay, there was a weakness that was open to be exploited, and the environment was going to exploit that negative that's inside of it. And with that, we're going to go to Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 2 through 3. Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 2 through 3. Read that.
Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2. Wherein, in time past, ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air.
So he's saying a lot of us who come and eventually serve Christ at one time served the prince of the power of the air. That's another way of explaining Satan. Meaning the people in the world just sat back here and followed the principality of the region.
Yep.
The principality of the region, of the area that you're in.
The God of the area.
The God of the area. Whatever principality was over that, whatever satanic force was there, you gave yourself to that environment. Okay?
So every environment you go to,
there is a
there's a
spirit
different
there.
influence. Like Israel,
Con.
every
There's a
nation they
different
dealt
influence.
with, there's a different influence. They might like Shamash. They like Baal. They like other guys.
How about this? I drove by Dallas this weekend. You know, when you go to South Dallas, there's a certain spirit there, man. There's a certain spirit in South Dallas that you're not gonna. That's completely different than downtown Dallas, out near SMU. Out. They just have different vices. It's a different type of wickedness. It's different evil, depending on the region you're
You go to
at.
Austin, it's a whole different level of folly.
Right? But it's different
existence.
type. It's a different type of negative. Listen, 6th Street's one vibe, 8th Street's another vibe. You don't want to get caught and staggered drunk in the 8th Street. It's like the whole. It's like a Blue Oyster Street.
Yeah.
I think Blue Oyster Street is like is 8th Street and 6th Street's the regular thing.
I forgot what street. I don't even know.
Oh, you better stay on 6. Anything else you don't know. It's a wild. It's a coin toss. What's the point? There's different vibrations, different regions and sides of this world and parts of this world. What he's saying is, before we were sitting back here in chains and commit to Christ, we served the course. He said, according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air. Read on.
The spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience.
So he's saying there's people that just sit back here and live their life based on their environment.
Yeah.
There's a lot of our people that live their life just based off whatever environment is around them and whatever fit. However, whatever you get to fit into that arena, that's what you do.
That's true.
And when you start sitting back here and fitting into arenas, this is when all of a sudden, what's the thing now? How many of our young boys and young girls who have confidence issues because they're not confident and they're looking to be accepted, they start changing themselves to 5-letter words. Now I'm in a 5-letter movement.
Or they just
I'm
change
just going to
drugs.
say that. I just want to sit back and say, what's the thing when a lot of young boys, if you're a young boy, a young male in Atlanta, Georgia, and you don't have no confidence in yourself, what's going to be provided for you as an option? Do I have to really sit back and spell it out for you? If you don't have any confidence, you have a little self-loathing in yourself, all it's going to take is a person of the same sex to approach you. And television and the entire environment tells you that's okay. And you're sitting back here being somebody that you weren't meant to be because of your environment. San Antonio is the same for women. That environment is strong for women in this city. If you just lack confidence, self-esteem's low, it's easy to sit back here and get caught up in that, in the prince of the power of the air, the environment that you're in, that liberal environment, that liberal energy, in wherever you're at. There's a reason they say keep Austin what? Weird. What does that mean? We're going to shake things up a little bit in Austin. You can be however you want to be. You can be as weird as you want to be out here. But that's an example of the being caught up into the prince of the power of the air. It's the environment. It's the negative environment that people have tendencies to give themselves to.
There's different types of liberals.
And this is how you know Satan is a real entity. I'm going to go back to this because people out here think Satan isn't real. I've heard it from Israelite teachers. Satan is real. Satan is very real. And you can tell by the environment that's produced in front of you. And what are the expected reactions and responses to the environment that's presented to you? Because either if you're taking the insecure woman, either she's susceptible to tapping into their own gender, or she goes the opposite polarity and taps into whoredom to be accepted. Or they become completely recluse because of the experiences they went through to try to fit in and it didn't work. There's so many different counterbalances that come from being caught up into the prince of the power of the air. Yes, somebody has a hand up?
I was going to ask, like, is it a way if you're trying to work on something particular, like you have like blocks that you're going to put everything's kind of wrapped your head around one thing, something else,
No, that's what's inside of you. What we're talking about is things around you that enhance
Feed.
and fuel what's inside of you. That brings out the insecurities, brings out the pride, fuels the pride. Even if you listen to music. Listen, when you're a woman listening to music, what is it all about? Women take control. Get control. Forget these 5-letter words. It's about everything got that energy to it. And when you say, you know what the hell that means. You know what the hell that means. Get what you want. You know what they're saying. I don't even got to say the words. You know the spirit behind it. I don't need these man. That's all it is. Get your man and take his money. That's the end result of the song. You know it's wicked. They got
moral story is the same moral story every song.
That's why I say it's you know what the song's about. You don't gotta hear it. You know it. That spirit is telling you it ain't good. And if that's not the prince of the power of the air, I don't know what the hell it is.
Yep.
It is an energy that's pushing our people to actually want to sit back here and go left.
Indeed.
I'll never forget 90s rap, 90s West Coast rap. I can't count on how much negative came from 90s West Coast rap. I used to always say, listen, bro, I can only listen to Dog Pound for like 3 songs out. 3 or 4 songs, you got to cut it off at 3 or 4 songs out. It's like, whoa. It was like, bro, it's like trance music, huh? You now you want to look for malt liquor and get high and run these streets, huh? And it was just a sound. It's like, damn, Drake put a demon on that track.
Who's playing that flute? Who's playing that flute?
It was, I don't know what the magic. There was a satanic flute out.
Yeah.
It brought the worst out of black people out in Issachar, in the tribes. Right? You know what it was, right? Then you throw Nate Dogg singing behind it. Right? I gotta go. Where is it at? I gotta go. Whatever's happening tonight, I gotta go. It's the truth. And listen, I'm just saying from my experience, that energy was different than any other energy I experienced. Like, bro, I want to do something negative. Maybe there is something to this gangbanging thing. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe I gotta see what's up. Damn, it's alluring here.
Yeah.
Listen, that's just me. But I know it happened to a lot of people when they were younger. Energy sat back here and caught a lot of people up with a lot of negative charges. And if you have a half a brain, you will understand that.
I don't know why I did
There is a spirit to your environment, to the music, to everything around you that pulled you into this negative. And the people who fell for it, most I call them the children of disobedience. So he's still saying, you're disobedient. You just sucker that ate the cheese. But Satan still puts the cheese out there.
Yeah, murder charges.
Are you going to sit back? I got murder charges, 4-letter word charges.
Yeah.
All that happened on that music.
When Bada Bada came out, that flute,
bro,
that
listen,
flute went to the
when
south.
Bada Bada came out. Listen, when that song came out, I was actually in the South. I was in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And people would all say, you don't know how many murders came off this song. How many people were murdered with Bada Bada at 2 o'clock in the morning? Because they always play Bada Bada at around 1:45. Then everybody goes to their cars and gets their straps. For those who were there, you would remember. Like, how many guys were getting shot listening to Bada Bada?
New Orleans,
It wasn't just, it was Texas, it was Oklahoma, it was the South.
New Orleans became the murder capital of the country.
Yeah, it was the South. And listen, the people start throwing signs in people's faces out when everybody's drunk. You gonna throw signs in a person's face at 1:50 at night at 2 o'clock at night and not expect something to happen?
That flute was playing that.
It was that devil flute. It was the devil flute. For those who remember, it's true. What am I trying to say? We're just explaining scenarios where the environment all around you, wherever you are, was created and built to bring out something inside of you. And that reaction made you the child of disobedience.
Yeah.
Read verse 2 again.
Now in verse 2, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air.
So listen. So once again, Ghetto Boys 2. Listen, man. All that stuff. Name your wicked track or your wicked beat maker, wicked producers. It was all there. All I'm explaining is that in time past, we walked in the course of this world because we didn't use the scriptures to tether us. These environments and the prince of the power of the air has no power over you if you choose righteousness. But we can't be oblivious to the fact that that spirit and that element is everywhere around you, ready to swoop on you when you get weak. Read verse 2 again.
Wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience.
So all is the only difference between you now and you and everybody else who's still slipping is you made a decision to fight you. And you make a decision to fight you every day. That's the only damn difference. Have you made a decision to not give in to your environment? How many times you sit back here and you're angry? You have to choose not to fuel that anger. Right or wrong? There should be no reason why another person should make you mad. If another person makes you mad, then you just lost to Satan. How about that? Another person shouldn't make you mad. Another person shouldn't sit back here and deject you. If you're really in control of your consciousness towards the Heavenly Father. The environment flows through people. When people aggravate you, when circumstances aggravate you, it's still the prince of the power of the air created or established to create a reaction out of you, to bring out a reaction out of you. Because the reaction that comes out of you is your inability to process the situation spiritually. Simple as that. This is why he says the children of disobedience are those ones who give in to the environment that Satan has control over.
Because they're easily influenced, because they have no protection, because they haven't exercised themselves in the spirit.
And the sad thing is, Israel in the building who follows the Torah has the same problem.
Yeah.
Right? Or you think we're absolved from that? We're sitting back here every day. I'm getting reports about brothers getting angry, snapping at the zone in front of customers. What the hell is that? You tell me that's not Shaitan in live in effect? Even now? That men still lose to and lose control in? So the environment still dictates how men carry themselves. Right or wrong? If the environment is dictating what's inside of you, then really you're still a child of disobedience. Because all the prince of the power of the air means your environment is presented in front of you to initiate a reaction in which you fail.
Like a person that deals with their middle school and deal with peer pressure. They're like, hey man,
but we ain't left middle school yet.
You suck. Smoke this. Or you suck, bro. That's if you have,
you're not cool.
If you have anybody friends, you suck, bro, if you don't smoke this.
Yeah.
With Judites,
it's
like, you ain't nothing, bro. You ain't
you're a 5-letter word.
You
a cat.
Yeah, like that. They'll clown you until you smoke. Yeah. But it's the same spirit.
You better hoop. You better do something that they can't.
And Issachar, they're gonna make it look good. Like we having a great time, bro. Come with us. You want to be part of the group. It's the same spirit. Gad, Issachar, Judah. There's different ways of doing it, but it's the same pool. That spirit conducts through people.
I'm just trying to say that spirit, everything you said about the peer pressure is true, but Israel that knows the knowledge is still given to their environments. Now, the environment, listen, how is it one day you got conference at the mall, the next day you don't? How come, and one day at the mall, a person can sit back here and tell you harshly no, and all of a sudden your day changes? That means your environment won. That means the prince of the power of the air won that day. Why is it one day a brother can say something to you and it doesn't bother you, but the next day you're ready to choke him?
I don't know.
Is it that brother or is it you? It's you. It's the wickedness in you that the negative and that hate in you was exposed by your environment, by the prince of the power of the air. That's the point. So once again, Satan is real, and all he's doing is setting up the mouse traps.
That's what he does.
He's gonna be real stinky cheese. I make sure we want that. What's that?
He'll eat this cheese.
He will. And a lot of times we take the cheese and we fall for it because of our ego and our pride and our selfishness.
He just has to set the table the right way.
But that's my point. But the negative is in us. Satan just presents the options to make the negative choice. That's his job. But we're going to go into more specifics about his job in a couple weeks. Because we'll go even more clear about, we'll have no doubts that there is a Satan and what his job is to do. But let's not forget, Satan created all of these, the Most High, Christ, made all these entities for himself. Meaning, Satan has a purpose on earth.
A purpose.
Yes, sir?
We can't get mad or curse Satan.
No.
His job.
No. Because all Satan is exposing is what's inside of you. So, yeah, it's not about cursing Satan. It's not about being angry at Satan. Satan, it ain't Satan's fault that you have a malignant root inside of you, that you're evil inside of you, that you got lust that dominates you. It's not Satan's fault that you have pride, that you're angry, that you're insecure. Why is it Satan's fault that your insecurities are being exploited every night? It ain't Satan's fault.
Like,
it's your fault.
Like you're mad.
It's like in a basketball game.
Yeah.
If you can't dribble with your left side, and they take away your right side, why are you mad at the defender? Oh man, he's blind. He's fouling me. No, just go to your left. But you can't go to your left, huh? And that's the problem. That means you suck.
Yeah.
That means you're gonna sit back here. You're gonna sit back here. You have a goose egg tonight because you suck.
I could have produced.
You ever see like Major League, the movie Major League Act, with the Cuban guy Serrano out?
Oh, that's perfect.
If he was throwing fastballs, like this guy's hitting 400-foot home runs out. But you give him a curveball. Oh, he missed every curveball all year out. Every curveball he misses. So you're mad at him. Then he gets mad at the bat. He says, Jobu, if you don't have me hit the ball today, I say F you, Jobu. I say it to your face. Why are you mad at the guy with the bat out? It's not his fault you can't hit a curveball. It's you. You're the problem.
The bad guy.
And that's my point. But we want to get mad at the environment because we suck at
That's a real
something.
spirit, though.
It's the truth. But in reality, it's us. You want to get mad at the spirits because you're negative and you have a weakness inside of you that keeps getting exploited?
I remember I was a kid, churches, old ladies in some big hats. Said, damn the damn devil. I'm like a little kid. I'm like,
Damn, the three damn?
damn the damn devil. Damn the devil.
That's four damn. That's four
I'm
damn.
like, man, this guy's out there running around doing what we gotta do. Like, what happened? He made my heart feel bad. He made my blood pressure go high. I said, oh no.
Why did the devil take my grandmother away? Well, she was eating horrible. It's Satan's fault.
He didn't make the blood pressure go high.
She was eating nothing but fried foods.
It was
bad
picky
Cereals.
It was always picky.
It was just Cereals all the time, man.
Yeah, Cereals. And Crisco. That white stuff.
Crisco, when they started producing Crisco, that was the beginning of the end. Because they used to sit back and use different like fat and lard before in the past. Then they went to Crisco and everything went bad. Everybody's health went down. That was in the 50s. Anyway, that's another story. What am I trying to say? It ain't Satan's fault that he's exploiting your weakness. You know what I said? This is a battle. Who's ever sat back here and played competitive sports? What is the purpose of playing? When you're playing a game, you game plan against what? A team. You acknowledge the team's strengths, and you sit back and deal with the weaknesses. You sit back and just gloss over the weaknesses, or you keep exploiting it until you fix it. Am I right or wrong? Why are we looking at Satan any different? If you got pride, they're gonna constantly have people checking your ego, checking your pride. You'll always feel disrespected. There's gonna always be a scenario that makes you feel a person is making you feel less than. Everywhere you go.
On the bus.
But the question is everybody out to get you, or you just have a weak psyche? And you have a small ego. Which one is it? Everybody's the bad man? Or you have a small soul, like the scripture says? How about that? If every person you come around, you sit back here and feel jealous, maybe that's a you problem. Maybe it's a you problem. It's not everybody else around you. And maybe Satan just keeps exploiting the weakness in you. And all he's doing is presenting what's in front of you and bringing it right in your face. And you fall every single time. Anyway, read verse 3.
God, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 3. Among whom also we all had our conversation in time past in the lust of our flesh.
He keeps going back. The children of disobedience are exposed by the prince of the power of the air because of the lust of our flesh. The lust of our flesh is what Satan is using in the environment to expose us and to weaken us. Read on.
Fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind.
So what is happening is the prince of the power of the air is just giving you opportunities to fulfill the desires of the flesh and of the mind. That's all Satan is doing. You want to tap into the flesh? It's right here for you. You want to give into your ego? It's right here for you. You want to get caught into your lust? It's right here for you. You want to go out in that self-loathing? It's right here for you. You want to give up? Then give up.
I don't know why I was at the impulse to just quit everything.
Come on.
I
Because you know why? Because you want to quit. You're looking for a reason to quit. And you'll be given an answer. You'll be given an opportunity to quit because you want it. So these things keep happening to you. And this is how you know the battle is spiritual. The battle is spiritual because these issues and your environment keeps tweaking and attacking and gnawing at what's already inside of you. This is why a man who can't take a check, he's always under a man who rubs him the wrong way.
Every time.
A person who can't take correction is always going to be around somebody who keeps being in their eyes rude to them. Because Satan's going to keep putting a person that brings out your pride and exposes your pride. I'll keep hearing about, yeah, this person, I don't want to sound like he's coming at me this way, or I don't want to sound like this brother is talking to me this way, or I'm like, this is the fourth brother in like 3 months, and I keep getting the same report. I don't want to sound like this brother's talking to me like this. I don't want to say I ain't done nothing. Is it that you ain't done nothing, or your pride's getting pricked by multiple people? It's not the person, it's you. And once again, all we're expressing, Satan controls the world. Satan controls the earth. And all he's doing is having the jurisdiction around you to expose what's already inside of you. We just read in 2 Ezra 3 that he didn't take that malignant root out of us, that wicked heart out of us. So because that wicked heart is not out of us, we're going to always have to face things in our environment that expose the wickedness that's inside of us. And this is what the fight is always about. You're going to always feel the same thing. And you didn't feel it in the past. Why? Because you weren't conscious of your battle. You weren't aware that you have to fight this in you. So now once you read the scriptures and the law, now you know what not to do. Now the battle starts. Once you know what not to do, now all of a sudden the urges to feed the flesh is intensified.
That's Romans 7:9.
I know that's what Romans 7 is about. It explains that once you have the law, now you're on the hook. Now the flaw is in you. Now the flaw is exposed and you know it. And the world and your environment around you is crafted around exposing what's inside of you.
It's handcrafted for you.
And you got to understand, all these things are being exposed in front of you. Not to destroy you, but to give you time to fix it. Because if you don't fix it, when you're finally judged, what are you going to say? Oh man, it's hard, man. It's hard, man. In the streets, man. I'm trying, man. I just need a couple more years, man. I would have fixed it, man. You can't keep saying that.
Or you was a little boy from Georgia.
I was just a little boy from Georgia. I followed the law. I would have black bottom.
Yeah.
I had black bottom, little boy from Georgia with a brown bottom. And I didn't mean to harm nobody. I gave tithes, so I came to class. That's not enough. You're gonna have to fight. But the battle is inside of you. And Satan controls the environment. And are you going to sit back here and feed off the environment or break what's inside of you? But the prince of the power of the air controls the environment that exposes and fuels those emotions and those outlooks and those fluctuations of emotions that are so hard to control. Okay, read verse 3 again.
God, Ephesians 2 and 3, among whom also we all had our conversation in time past in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath.
It's like Paul already read 2nd Ezra. He said our nature was already of the children of wrath. Read on.
Even as others.
He says we all, all of our nature is evil. And Satan just knows exactly where you're weak at to exploit. So Satan has a job to exploit what's already inside of you. But Satan is real, just like the wickedness in yourself is real. Okay? Let that verse go and go to James
It's
chapter
just like
1.
computers, though. Because you have the algorithm and say, oh, he likes this. Oh, he likes that. Oh, he likes this.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you want to buy this? You want to buy that?
Have you talked about something that you wanted out and it just pops on your phone?
Within a second.
Yeah. Because it's like, I know how to sell this guy, and I'm going to sell this guy or gal based on their vice.
Got it.
Now you're a slave to us.
It's like Satan in a telemarketer outfit, a little button shirt out. Like,
With you got 2 horns on. You said 2 horns.
he definitely wants some cookies right now. Come on. Send a cookie.
Yeah. All facts.
That's the same spirit.
Come on. Let's go to James
We're winning
chapter 1
We're
and
winning
12.
customers.
Yeah. All the time. Because they know how to directly fuel your vice. This is why, like, the new age is really about information.
Yeah.
It's about gathering as much information on customers as possible to know how to direct marketing.
Data, yeah.
And it's all about data. And the more data I can collect, the better I can market you. But I can market your vice.
Yes.
I'm marketing your vice. Was that? Who had a question? Who had a hand up? Oh, yes, sis.
So my question is, should we look at Satan as like a teacher that's showing us our faults, our flaws, so that we can fix it?
I wouldn't say a teacher. I would say Satan is sitting back here and exploiter. Satan's job is to exploit what your weakness is. Because, listen, I'm not trying to give the whole class, but in the class coming down, the scripture talks about Satan is the accuser. Before he can accuse you, he got to collect evidence on it.
Yeah, I can't be serious. He did this. Like,
That's why even in Esau's course they call him discovery. Let's discover what you're really into. Let's look at your data record. Let's look at your phone records. Look at your credit card records. This is a naughty boy. Look at this guy's credit. Look what he does with his credit card.
Or a fair case. They let you sell drugs and kill people for like 10, 15 years. Like, let him do it. You killed 30 people over there. Listen, we gotta get evidence.
Yeah, we got to get evidence.
Even call, hey, the Bill Duke finger pops out. You messed up.
Yep.
All of a sudden, you know we got a fair case on you.
Yeah.
We
got RICO. We're gonna sit back and go back.
All your
Then we're gonna
friends.
sit back as criminal conspiracy.
There you go.
Now you're out of there.
Yeah.
But this is what Satan is doing to us. Remember in Training Day?
Yeah.
He said, I got capital cases on all of y'all.
You wanna
That's what Satan's doing. They're all going to Pelican Bay. You all die. You all gonna sit back here and burn up. After I sit back here and get done with y'all to provide the evidence to the Most High to show you ain't nothing. That's you bunch of fakers in here. That's all Satan is saying. Y'all are sitting back here, fake ass Jews, wearing strings on your clothes, acting like you're spiritual. And I'm gonna prove that you're a bunch of fakers. That's all Satan's job is. He don't gotta sit back here, put spirits like it's Ghostbusters acting. Woo, the spirits ain't about that. I'm just gonna put a case on all y'all. This is why you shouldn't make it. And I'm gonna submit it in an email to the Father.
Because the Most High's a judge.
I'm gonna send the guy's email. This guy sucks, and I got the proof. That's all it is. So that's why we have to fight our battles, knowing that everything we choose not to fight is why we have a chance of not making. And that's how you have to look at it. But Satan doesn't make you sin. Satan doesn't make you pick up that spliff. Satan doesn't make you sit back here and be disrespectful and out of order and commit adultery and drink copious amounts of alcohol. You do that. He just put the commercial in front of you. He just allowed the ping to pop on your phone to make you want to do it.
I don't know why I did this.
You know why you want to do it. Because you want to do it. It's that simple. So, let's go James chapter 1 and verse, I think it's 12?
Yeah.
12 through 14.
James chapter 1 and verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
Because he says, blessed is the man or woman that endures the temptation.
Wow.
Because the temptation is always going to be there. None of us can escape the temptation from the prince of the power of the air. But the temptation is meant to tempt the negative that's inside of you. Expose the negative that's inside of you. It ain't Satan's fault. Read on.
Everybody blames me, but I only give them what they want.
That's my point.
That's what he gonna say. I gave him what he asked for.
You wanted it. If you didn't want it, why'd you take it?
Yeah.
We're done. Because you could have took sincerity.
Yeah.
You could have took humility.
Mike
you didn't want that.
was right there.
Listen, you could have sat back here and took abstinence.
Yeah.
You could have took discipline.
The elder told you stop doing it.
But you chose pride. You chose talking junk
Talking
and
crazy.
being disrespectful. You chose that. Because that's what's inside of you.
And based on that evidence, Father, I like to call.
I
like to call for a sentence.
Your
I like
honor.
to call for a sense of
Guilty.
eternity in the south part of hell, next to Diddy. Like, I don't want to be there. That's where he's gonna go. That's his location.
Listen, it sounds funny until you're on the hook.
Till you already know.
And the books of good and evil, or the books are opened up for you, and all your actions are going to be displayed. What do you think that means? Everything you did, everything you didn't fight, everything you chose to fight is going to be presented for you.
He's been that way since his youth, Father.
Con.
He's been that way since his youth.
And Satan, just like we read about, there's 24 elders, one for every single hour of the day. You have that on the righteous side and on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Looking at what you do every day, every hour, and they're reporting. And all the negative information is being reported to Satan. And all the good is being reported to the right-hand side angels. This is what this is. Now can you understand how it all fits into working for the Most High in Christ?
So
All these principalities are working for the Most High in Christ.
Yep.
At Christ's beckoning call. Because he needs all the... You think he's just like a Santa? He just was looking at the good list out. He ain't looking at the naughty list out. He looking at both that. He got to get everything to make a proper decision and a judgment on somebody. To be fair. So, read that. Verse 12. James 1 and 12.
James 1 and 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life.
What he's saying is, the person that's tried and endures shall be crowned with the kingdom. Now the scripture says, he that endureth to the what?
Yeah.
The same shall be saved. So he's still talking about how you finish. So why is that important? Because a lot of us get so caught up into the mistakes we've made on the road to the end that what's the word? The condemnation
of the devil.
The condemnation of the devil, because that's still satanic too. When you condemn yourself so much that you lack the ability to keep pushing forward, because you tell yourself that your mistakes are unforgivable. You can't turn back. You can't fix what you've done. That's what condemnation of the devil. Satan will sit back here because you still really want to tell yourself that you're not good enough. You want to quit.
Tell yourself
He's still exposing what's inside.
the easy path.
And in your head, you're a quitter.
Yeah.
So because you're already a natural born quitter, Satan keeps riding you with condemnation, saying you're not good enough. You make too many mistakes back in those days. You can't ever recover. Because you're a quitter, that quitting nature in you is exposing and fueling the condemnation that's riding you heavy. And the more you fuel it, you're really inviting Satan to come in here to convince you that you're not going to make it.
Because she's at the point She's about to choose. It's like a sale. We sell too. I used to sell a whole lot of stuff until things changed a little bit.
Just oil, man. I thought you
I
said
was oil man. Okay. I was
You
oil
said
man.
you sell a whole lot of stuff. Like, nah, you sold oil.
I was an oil man.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to clarify.
But you can see when the customer's right about to crack out. You're
Yeah.
like, okay.
And when they're about to be convinced to buy, you got to push them.
I got
You gotta lean on it. You gotta say, listen, man, you gonna buy this or what, man? You gonna put all your weight on that guy at that particular
Because
point.
you could see their face and you see their body and they're like, sorry. Like this,
They
make that face.
That means you got the money.
They
You
count
got
money.
it. You got the money. All right.
They put their bag down. Money's made.
Mm-hmm.
You got a bag full of shoes, whatever going on. They put their bag
But
down.
what you gotta do is you gotta eliminate all. But I gotta go to the store. No, you ain't gotta go nothing. You right here. Let's do it now. You ain't leaving.
What about
Because when you leave, it's over. The sale's done when you leave.
Exactly.
But this is the same thing when it says the condemnation of the devil. He's not condemning you, but he's convincing you that you're not good enough. But is he really convincing you, or are you convincing yourself? Are you feeding the thoughts long enough to tell yourself you're not going to make it? Point is, we have to endure to the end, and if we're able to fight to the end, we'll be saved. But you got to keep fighting these impulses and these thoughts until you get to the last damn day. But continue.
It says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
Yeah.
For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him.
But how do you show that you love the Most High? How does anybody show they love the Most High but to choose righteousness and honor despite everything around you trying to convince you that that's not the way? How else can you show the Most High you love him? Besides, the only way you can do it is not choose the flesh. Knowing that the flesh is all around you. And there's always pulls to go backwards. To go back into your old way of thinking. And this is what sometimes overwhelms people. The thought that I got to fight every day. Because a lot of us think we just got to be holy for a few days,
I won
whatever,
the
and you're
battle for that moment. Thank God it's over.
But that's not the season. And that's
That's
the
a
scary
season,
part.
buddy.
When you tell yourself, I fought this battle, now I can exhale. You can't exhale until the end. You got to keep studying, keep reading, keep being active and busy with good works to keep yourself active, to keep yourself from falling.
Yeah.
Because it's too easy to fall. Everywhere around you is an easy option to get weak. Right or wrong? Continue.
Verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High.
So you can't sit back here and say the Most High tempted me. The Most High allowed all this negative to happen to me. And why did the Most High sit back here and curse me like this? Most High didn't do nothing. Most High gave you the scriptures and gave you examples and gave you people that know how to fight your battle and can walk you through fighting your battle if you choose to listen to the one or two people that can do it versus listening to the 80,000 who can't. If you're really conscious of you fighting your battle, if you're really conscious of it, he gives you enough people you can learn from to counteract the many people who are going to push you the wrong way. However you want to play it, you can never say it's the Most High's fault that I'm catching this hill, or it's the Most High's fault that I fell or got weak. Read on.
For the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man.
The Most High doesn't tempt man. Satan tempts man. And all Satan does is give you a choice. Satan can't touch you. He can't make you. He can touch you. That's wrong. He can touch you. Job chapter 1 explains that. But he can't make you change your decision. You change your decision. You make the choices you want to make. Read on.
Verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
Every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust. Read on.
And enticed.
And that's the point. All Satan has to do is find where your weak spot is and exploit it. And present to you and present around you the things that fuel your lust. And then you fall for it, and then you're tempted. And then you fell and you ate the cheese. And now you are referred to as a child of disobedience. Read on.
Fine. Then, when lust had conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
And sin, when it is finished, brings forth death. Because ultimately, we have to fight to make sure that our end isn't us just giving into our flesh and giving into our desires and giving into just the feelings. And just understand your whole life, the rest of your life is going to be predicated about going against the thoughts that are convenient. The quicker we understand that, the quicker we can be strong. Don't ever think there's going to be a time where you don't have to choose to fight. I think that is a major issue with us also. We are so equipped to choose comfort, to choose ease, to look for a break. And when we start looking for that break is when we fall. Yes. It even tells you that about slothfulness. It says a little bit of folding of the hands, a little slumber or sleep, and the whole house falls apart. If you don't stay in that fighting spirit, your whole house will fall. Yes, sir.
I was going to say, what aggravates us too as well between the corner war is the fact that we think once we completed the battle, then that it's already done, it's already completed.
Done.
You don't have to go back to it.
You can exhale. Yeah.
But we fail to understand that the better we grow in our spirit, there's different levels of that same battle that intensifies each time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And we're responsible for constantly fighting,
Yeah.
for constantly staying alert. Okay? Continue.
God. Verse 16. Do not err, my beloved brothers. Every good gift.
What is he saying? He says, don't err, my beloved brethren. Don't get weak. Don't fall. Don't falter. We have to fight every day to stay on top of our spirit. He keeps saying you can't get weak in these arenas. Okay? Let that go and go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and 4. And also 1 Peter's chapter 5 and 8.
1 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 4. 2 Corinthians 4 and 4.
Let me get there real quick, sir. Let's read that, sir.
In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not.
Listen, Satan can only blind you if you don't believe. Satan can only blind you. The God of this world is who? It's Satan. The Satan can only blind you if you don't believe in these scriptures. So if we get caught slipping, if we fall, if we choose weakness, all it does is expose our lack of belief. So this verse lets us know that Satan doesn't have power over us. We're not teaching that at all. Satan does not have power over you. Christ's word prevails against all. But you have to choose power. You have to choose strength and not choose weakness. But if you choose weakness, it's because your belief isn't there. Read it again.
Come, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them.
But whether you choose light or dark is really what you choose to feed. Satan doesn't control. He doesn't have that kind of power. All Satan does is provide the options. And you have to bypass the options and constantly choose Christ. And if you do that, you obtain the victory. You obtain what you shoot out for in the work. But this is what you have to understand about Satan. Go to 1 Peter chapter 5 and 8.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8 reads.
Let me get there real quick, sir. 1 Peter chapter 5 and 8. Read that.
1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8 reads, be sober, be vigilant.
Meaning be alert. Always be alert. Give me a definition for vigilant. Because sober is clear-minded. He's telling you that we have to always be clear-minded and not comfortable, not overly laxed like most of us want to get. We want to get lax and comfortable and wonder why the Most High isn't blessing us. So vigilant, what does that mean?
Vigilant, 1828 was dictionary. Watchful, circumspect, attentive to discover and avoid danger.
He's telling you we have to always look for scenarios where we might get caught slipping. Thoughts that might get us weak. Influences that might get us weak. Circumstances, conversations, television shows, media that might get us weak. This is the mindset we have to develop in ourselves if we want to finish this race. He's telling you the attention to detail. We have to stay on top of ourselves so that we don't get weak. And I know for a fact most of us don't walk circumspect. We're not sitting back. How many of us walk around every day looking to make sure we don't fall? Looking to make sure we don't get caught in decisions that expose our failures and our weakness. Making sure every day, every communication, every experience I deal with, I'm on the lookout of not falling or failing or falling short of pleasing Heavenly Father. How many of us do that on a daily basis? Very few of us. Most of us just walk around, play music, live our life, and allow whatever thoughts in our life to just dominate us. And we wonder why we keep failing in Christ, or we keep running in circles. He's telling us, if you want to sit back here and gain the victory, you have to be looking out for things inside of you that are making you more bitter, making you more hateful, making you more negative. I'm going to say this, if you're sitting back here in your mind and you got hate in your heart, how can you tell yourself Christ is with you? If I let people that I work with or deal with every day or live with every day make me turn hateful, do you really think Christ is in you? Obviously, no. We talked about earlier that if my interactions with people are making me respond negative, it's because the negative is in me. It's because hate is in me, not the other way around. It's easy to say, this person was evil, that person was negative. That's easy. Then why'd you respond to the evil? How about evil connects to evil? How about that? How about evil recognizes evil? So if you're getting evil because they're evil, maybe because it's evil in you. We don't look at things that way. We've got to be vigilant to make sure our environment doesn't turn us hateful, cold, lustful, proud, whatever it is. But are we really sitting back here on the lookout to make sure we don't fall prey to negative that's everywhere you look? Have you sat back here and been feeling good, for a day or whatever, and then within an hour something happens, a feeling hits you, and all of a sudden your whole outlook changes? That's how quick it can happen. That's how quick your spirit can drop from being on point to being in the dumps. And if it's happening like that, you're not vigilant enough to stay on top of every thought and emotion that's popping in your head. Yes, sir?
Constantly looking for breaks.
Instead of sitting back here constantly looking for how Satan is coming for you.
And that's when we feel we find that break.
Because he's telling you, if you're not constantly on the lookout for negative or things that can sit back here and trip you up, if you're not constantly aware of what you're not strong at spiritually, if you're not constantly aware of how you can get weak, what happens next? Read on.
Okay. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8 reads, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walking about, seeking whom he may devour.
Have you ever watched those damn animal shows out? Can gazelles and those water buffaloes ever be comfortable in the damn woods out? Can they ever just smile and relax in Africa out? No, they can't. They can't relax in the water. They're the most scared during the water. You know somebody like this? Your head is up. You gotta look out. You look out. You ever see those gazelles? Some of them are drinking. Some are looking out. They're never comfortable because you never know who's in the bush creeping and is hungry. Can you listen? You don't think these animals know who the predator is and who's the prey? Am I right or wrong? And all the ones that are prey know their prey, and their whole life in the Serengeti is uncomfortable. How can it not be uncomfortable? You got to get water. Damn it! Everybody's thirsty, right? You thirsty, man? Okay, we got to all go as a group. Because if you know it's just one out here, it's over. So they all got to go as a group. And it's like, it's the most stressful thing ever for these animals out. They're sitting back here. They're just taking turns, drinking water out, being on lookout. Or those water buffaloes, when they're crossing the water out, they always wait to the last couple out when they get them out. You think, and say for instance, they kill one water buffalo. And you think you're going to relax after that, from that day on? You going to relax? And how about we get a step or two slower? You really scared.
That's the problem.
You're really in trouble. Like, damn.
You can't afford to lose that, be on the precipice of your strength. You got to be right. You got to be tight because if I want you to get comfortable, I want you to get sick, I want you to don't feel like it, I want you to get lost in your own thoughts.
You're exposed. And this is what he's saying about Satan. This is the amount of preparation and consciousness and studying that you have to sit back and invest to stay on top of your thoughts. That's why I'm going at these details. Do we sit back here and prepare through studying, counseling for anything that might happen that might come out of nowhere, unexpected? He says Satan is rolling like a lion. He's just waiting for the opportunity to expose you. That's how he is the adversary. That is the only reason he's the adversary, because he's an adversary to you trying to please Christ. And he's exposing you for what you really are in the flesh. But he's adversarial on your journey to please the Heavenly Father, because his job is to prove you're not worthy of the kingdom. That's it. His job is to prove that you're not worthy. So you have to sit back here and be on your P's and Q's every day to make sure you're not that damn gazelle that's drinking water and was looking at damn butterflies out when the whole crew left, and you're exposed and that lion comes and swarms you up. Because what they'll do is the rest of the herd might try to come help you, but after a little while they realize you ain't moving or you caught in a bad spot, they just leave, huh?
I see worse than that. I see one that he was running, another one was running. There was one that was in front of him, and what he did is he pulled the one that was in front of him behind him. He set his boy up.
What happened?
It was a crazy. It's like a.
It was sellout animals.
It was a meme. There's a meme called "No." She said, "Trust no one."
Oh.
And then they were all running from this animal, like this lion, or whatever. And then he was doing well, but no, he was ahead or whatever. But he pushed his brother back He pushed his brother basically to the line and saved himself. I'm not saying that's like everyday life, but
and that's not the lesson to the story. That's not the lesson to the story, everybody.
But he sold his brother.
The lesson to the story is to not feed your lust in your flesh.
You got to look at it like this too. In nature, animals and stuff, the lions and stuff, they go after the weakness.
Yeah.
So in that aspect,
and that's what I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is you can't be the weak one. We're not sitting back here saying that you got to protect yourself and be doubtful and untrustworthy. We're not saying that. All we're saying is the Most High is saying Satan is like a lion, seeking whom he may devour. All a lion does is look for the what? The weakness in the herd. All Satan is doing is looking for the what in you? The weakness in you. And once the weakness is spotted, all of a sudden, everywhere you go, you're going to be reminded of that weakness that you crave. Whether it's at work, whether it's, if you're weak to women, guess what? You're going to have women all in front of you. If you have pride, you're going to sit back here and constantly be attacked in your pride. If you have insecurities, those insecurities are going to keep popping up every damn day of your life until you stop focusing on that. And you kill that in you. You know, when you kill us, when you get control of a certain negative in you, then it stops bothering you. And it doesn't come around you as much. That's how you know we're fighting a spiritual battle against principalities. Instead of being focused on why something keeps happening to me, why don't you break the negative inside of you and it'll stop coming? Because now that weakness is no longer a weakness, it becomes a strength. That's how you learn to fight a battle in the spirit. But once again, class today is just about explaining who Satan is and what his job and what his role is, and how he was created as a principality or power of this world that is necessary to sit back here and reveal what's inside of you. Now we're going to go into, we ain't even go there yet. We're going to go into what it takes to really gain power on earth, because that's the next aspect of class. Let's do Luke chapter 4, verse 5 through 7.
Luke chapter 4, verse 5.
Luke chapter 4 and verse 5.
And the devil, taking him up into an high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time.
So listen, matter of fact, read verse 1.
Luke 4 and 1.
It's important to establish this in context.
Luke chapter 4, verse 1.
Matter of fact, you know what? That's a good one, you know, I thought. Let's do, before you go there, let's read James 4 and 7.
James chapter 4, verse 7.
That's important. Because as we're explaining about Satan and how he's like a lion that's seeking whom he may devour, we have to also go to this verse, because this verse explains that Satan really doesn't have the power. All Satan does is reveal how weak of a relationship we have with the Most High. That's all Satan does. Satan exposes how weak you really are and how disconnected and disjointed you are to the Creator. James 4 and 7.
James 4 and 7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to the Most High.
So he's saying if you submit yourself to the Most High and you choose the Most High, then what happens?
Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
Submitting to the Most High is also resisting your flesh. Resisting that evil, wicked heart that's inside of you. Because all Satan is doing is giving you an opportunity to feed that wicked heart. So when you choose the Most High, you're destroying and you're starving out that evil inside of you. Read on.
Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
Listen, if you resist those urges, they will leave for a time. And I have to preface that he will leave. That insatiable desire to do what you want to do will leave for a time. The reason it won't leave forever, why will that spirit not leave forever? Anybody have an answer? That wicked heart hasn't left us. The Most High has to remove that wicked heart. And he won't remove that until we get to the kingdom. And that's what Jeremiah, or I think it's Ezekiel 33. I think it's Jeremiah and it's Hebrews talks about the Most High will sit back here and it will get to a point where we won't have to teach anybody the law. The law will be put in our hearts. Once that happens, then we won't have to fight the battle anymore. But until that day happens, that evil is in our heart. And if we cleave to the Most High, the temptation will leave for a period of time. This is why you have to study with a certain level of intensity to where the thoughts start to get under control. How many of you have studied long enough to where whatever negative is going through your head leaves? If you haven't done that, I don't know what the hell Israel's problem is. Because, but what the hell's going on? We're just sitting right here, damn carnal zombies just following the flesh. Because there's a lot of questions. When I ask that question, I'm like, what's that?
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Okay.
What was the question?
Oh, okay.
Like, giving his knees,
Huh?
maybe that's kind of like their knees and feet maybe.
I guess the question I'm asking is this. How many of us have had negative thoughts, negative impulses, strong spirit to want to feed into your flesh? And then have you studied long enough for that urge leaves? Or you just sleep off the urge? Or you sit back and do a crafting something, or you sit back and do something. You go lift weights to take your mind off of it. Because what we normally do is just do carnal to neutralize the carnal. Very few of us will study ourselves out of a negative spirit. You know, brothers, I'm just going to make a phone call. Like, damn, that's the answer, is making phone calls? There was nothing wrong with making a phone call. I'm all about that. But don't you think we're supposed to study ourselves through the lust? Through the impulse? We are a Bible school, right?
Yeah.
And we teach the Bible, right? So do you study yourself through those strong impulses or not? You watch television. Who watches television to neutralize the negative thoughts? Listen, there's more people than one person that just rolls their hand up. More people than that. That's how they do. That's how they fight back. Or they go to sleep. Or they play music. Listen, first thing is first. It's better than sinning. But it's not optimal. And you'll never learn how to manage your spirit unless you actually use the tool that God gave you to fight your battle, Don't you think that makes sense? And then maybe if you use the scriptures to fight your thoughts, they will stay gone for a longer stretch of time. Because how many times do you do carnal things to neutralize carnal thoughts, and then it might give you a very short reprieve, and then within an hour, guess what happens? It's coming right back at you. Or you might sit back here and bury your negative thoughts with work. And then right after work ends, the negative party starts.
Where you're in a cycle.
Yeah.
Where it's negative on the cycle.
Con. And it's a crazy cycle. Everyone knows you're just being crazy damn near, right? All these thoughts just keep dominating you over and over. You're like, am I crazy or what? Or something or what? The answer is yes, you're crazy. Because you're not fighting your spiritual battle the right way. The only way to beat negative spirits is to study yourself through it. Study and counsel through it. Those are the only two ways. If you want prolonged stability. And this is why it says, resist. How do you resist the devil? Because what are you really resisting? Are you resisting this entity, or are you resisting the negative that the negative in you that he's exploiting? You're not really resisting the devil. You're resisting the wicked heart that's inside of you that he is using outside arenas to exploit. He is just masterful at bringing it out and bringing it up to the surface. Now, are you going to sit back here and fight that or not? And how do you fight it? By the same tools the Most High gave you in 2 Ezra chapter 3. Didn't he? Because the hope in giving us the law was that it was going to blossom into what? What was that? It was 2 Ezra 3:20.
Second Ezra chapter 3 and verse 20.
Read it.
God, and yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them.
The hope was that once we get the scriptures, even though the wicked heart hasn't left, that the law and the scriptures will bring forth fruit in a man. What does that mean? For the scriptures to bring forth fruit? Not necessarily. What it means is for the law to have fruit in you. That means the scriptures can start overcoming some of this wicked root that's inside of you. Because what are we supposed to be doing? Was that to actually start overcoming some of the crop that's inside of you. Now, we might not destroy everything inside of us, but we should start being able to have some kind of control over the filth that's inside of you. You might not be able to remove it, but can you control it? Can you manage it? Can you manage this evil thought, your evil nature, your evil outlook, your lust, your pride? Can you control it? And the law was given, the scriptures were given, so we have the tools to control what's inside of us. And that's how the scriptures can grow and grow fruit inside of us. Because now you have the capability to start managing what's inside of you, so that what's inside of you doesn't control you, but the scriptures that you cleave to control it. Because that's what the whole fight in this truth is. This is why Israelites that just focus on the law don't understand the big picture. The law is just the beginning. You got to learn how to corral that hate and that pride and that lust and that negative outlook and that envious mind you have. So the law gives you the foundations of that. But Christ gives you the clarity on how to destroy and conquer sin. Because what is the conqueror of sin? The conqueror of sin is learning how to conquer that wicked heart that's inside of you. And Christ teaches us how to conquer that wicked heart. But how much do you study and invest into breaking what's inside of you? Or do you sit back here like most people in the world and just roll through life, allowing whatever your environment that's around you to dictate how you carry yourself? Because that's how most of us operate. We let our environment dictate who we are every day. And that's why we're so far disconnected from the Heavenly Father. Because we don't put the preparation and the work in order to actually resist the devil. Or to resist the evil that the devil exploits in. Does that make more sense? Because all the devil is the adversary. But you know what? Who's the greatest adversary? You. You're the greatest adversary.
17:9.
The wicked heart in you is the greatest adversary to your salvation. But Satan has to expose it so that the real you comes out. Because most of us are very duplicitous. What does that mean? We are duplicitous by nature. There's good in us and there's evil. But the problem is, how can you really please the Most High when you're 55 good and 45 bad? Or 60-40 or 65-35? Do you really think that combination is going to make the kingdom? It ain't. So we have to fight every day to neutralize how much it is evil that's inside of us. Which means, are you going to put the work in? Are you going to be vigilant? Are you going to be sober? Are you going to put the work to make sure you can manage this evil inside of you? Because that's the battle. This is why you got to keep studying and staying on top of yourself. And I went to that animal show to explain life in the damn Serengeti or the plains of whatever the hell it is. They're never comfortable. And if you're never comfortable, that means you're always on alert. Are we sitting back here every day making sure that we don't get caught slipping? We don't even think that way. But the Bible tells us to do it all the time. Stay on alert so your flaws don't get exposed and you get caught slipping. When you do dirt in the streets, you do it, don't you? When you selling drugs, y'all looking for the cops, looking for stick-up kids. All the rappers talk about it, right? Stick-up kids, cops. Then you gotta watch out for these gals that try to rob you. Then you wonder, why is this guy always jumping and always on edge? You know why? Because you can't trust anybody. Because tomorrow could be your last day. Today could be your last day. But that type of thinking is how you sell dope, right? This Mosiah is saying you got to be on alert like that in the spirit. Let me make sure I'm on alert to make sure I'm not going to get caught slipping in any of my vices or any of my weaknesses. Every day, have I studied up? Have I communicated up? Am I making sure I don't entertain these thoughts and these feelings? No, I ain't gonna entertain that. I'm not gonna feed that. I'm not gonna fuel that. I'm not gonna let Satan get in. I'm not gonna let Satan expose what it wants to expose. But that's completely up to me or you. Does that make sense? It's how we're explaining Satan make sense. We're not giving him all this power because he don't. The only power that Satan has is what you give him. Is what you allow to be fed and rise to the surface. Does that make sense?
He doesn't control.
Nobody sits back here and makes you push the buttons to watch nasty stuff on the internet. It's not like that. I can't control my hand. Why? Oh! It's not that way. You ever watch that movie, that stupid movie with I'm not good at it. I'm not good. Wasn't it Evil Dead act?
Nightmare.
No, it was Evil Dead. That guy couldn't control his hand.
Oh yeah, I know you.
It was stupid. It was a really horrible B movie, and he couldn't control it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not like that. It's not like that. You can control your decision making and your faculties. And all Satan is doing is giving you the option. You're going to feel it or not. And are you studying and committing yourself to the book enough to gain control of what's inside of you? Okay, so the devil will flee from you. That negative inside of you will subside if you prepare and study and if you're vigilant for a long enough time. Okay? Yeah, that's okay. We got it. I think we got the point. So let's go to Luke chapter 4, verse 1 through 7. Okay.
Luke chapter 4, verse 1. And Yahushua, being full of the Holy Spirit, returned from Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, being 40 days tempted of the devil. And in those days he did eat nothing. And when they were ended, he afterward hungered.
So listen, for 40 days, Christ was on a fast. He was hungry afterwards. And then it says Satan tempted him. And we're going to find out how he tempted him. Read on.
Verse 3, the devil said unto him, If thou be the Son of the Most High, command this stone that it be made bread.
Listen, did Satan sit back here? Was he giving him an order? Was he sitting back here and giving Christ an order? He's just saying, listen, you know you're Christ. Just make some bread. Listen, I know you're on a fast, but break it. You're hungry, right? Just go take matters into your own hands and fix your condition. Satan does that to us all the time. If you don't like what you're going through, just quit. If you're angry with your husband, just leave. Why go through it? If you don't like what this brother told you, then just leave. Live your own life. Open your own camp. See how that's satanic? You have the power to remove yourself from whatever battle you're in because you don't like something. All Satan is saying is you have the power. Just make your own bread. You can turn this stone. Didn't you turn water to wine? If you can turn water to wine, you can turn this stone to bread. You ain't got to be hungry no more. So what is Satan bringing out? He knows you're hungry. Sit back here and solve that problem. And satiate your needs. Satiate your want. That's all Satan does. He provides you the thought or the option to take charge and fix your situation. Now, he knew Christ had the power to change literal stone to bread, so he just put the thought, hey, man, let's change it. Now, we don't got the power to turn stone to bread, but what we can do, just drive down the street and get your needs met. Sit back here and do this, and whatever you got going through, just fix it. And you can get back and watch your day. Don't worry about it.
Live your life.
And live your life. You don't got to deal with this crap. Just get away. Take matters in your own hands and enjoy your life. Take a break. You working, they ain't working hard. Tell them you got to have this day. Tell them it's an emergency. Tell them it's an emergency. I have to leave now. Let's just go. We do something. What am I trying to do is paint pictures about how Satan just offers us an opportunity to feed our flesh. And how he tempted to say, Christ, listen, man, I know you're hungry. Listen, don't worry about this. Just eat. Make you some bread and eat. Don't worry about it. Most I understand. Read on.
Verse 4, Yahushua answered him, saying, It is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of the Most High.
So what Christ was explaining to Satan is, I'm not going to take matters into my own hands. Even though I have the power to change my circumstance, we're not supposed to live our life based upon changing our circumstances by our hands. We're supposed to live by the Most High in obedience to Him. And that's a very important thing to understand. We're supposed to live in a way to where the Most High will bring you your substance. He can change your condition. I don't need to change my condition. That's what Christ is saying. I'm just trying to read what was said.
If you're not changing it, you're choosing.
But what is Christ telling Satan? I am not going to change my condition. I am going to allow Christ to provide the solution for me. Because half of Israel's problems is that we want to control the narrative. We want to control when we get what we want. When and how much, we want to control that. And when we can't control when we get attention, when we get the blessings, when we get the comfort, then we get angry. Because all Satan was saying is, you have the power to change your situation. You don't got to wait any longer. Change it, get it now. But that is the very essence of what serving Satan or serving your flesh or serving your wicked heart looks like. It's the very essence of it. Choosing what you want, when you want, how you want. Does that make sense? Okay, read on.
Verse 5. And the devil taking him up into an high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. The devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me.
So what is he saying? Satan is saying all the powers of the kingdom of all the world is given in Satan's hands. This is what it means by the rulers of high places and rulers of all these powers is in Satan's hands. He is the prince of the power of the air. Because Christ gave him control over who has power in the empire, who has power in the world, who's the world leaders and heads. It comes from Satan. And you can't get it unless you serve Satan. And he's saying, listen, what is Satan attacking in Christ? Your desire for power. Think about this. Christ created everything. Christ had the power and created everything, even Satan. So why wouldn't he want more? Why wouldn't there be, if there was anything in him in the flesh that would eat at Christ? You don't think power would be something that would possibly be a weakness to him? When he was sitting back here from the beginning, created all things, now he's sitting back here in a fleshly body. And he has to sit back and be subject to all the things that a fleshly person goes through. You're telling me the desire for power wouldn't be a vice that's inside of him that he has to break inside of him? Let's not act like Christ didn't have to fight what's inside of him. He said he said in all things it behooved Christ to be like every other man. So he had issues that he had to overcome in himself to even be to get the salvation. So all Satan is just trying to bring out is something in him that he overcame, which was that desire for power and control. Because that's all of our desires. You ever like in like education class or would talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, whether it was in college or in high school, whatever level of education, that this scientist said that everybody's desire is just for the try to control or have a certain amount of money in his pocket, certain amount of prestige, respect, a job, and a living that makes him feel important. Everybody in their own way wants control and respect and wants some form of controlling of his environment. And that's really what Esau called it, a need. But it's really not a need. If you learn faith, you have to disarm all those needs and learn that it's not about what you want and what you have the capability to control. It's really about what things can you control but you give up willingly. Christ sat back here, had the control to change his situation with his diet, had the control to sit back here and change his condition and choose power. And he chose not to do it, even though he could. But that's truly everybody's battle in a nutshell. We want to sit back here and remove ourselves from our battle and expect the Most High to honor that, when that's really Satan. Satan is the one that's trying to tell you to remove yourself from your battle. Satan is the one that's telling you, if this person is pissing you off, then respond. Satan is sitting back and feeding what's inside of all of us to escape from having to wait till the Most High changes your condition. Read verse 5 again.
Verse 5. And the devil, taking him up into an high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me. And to whomsoever I will give it, I give it.
As we continue to go into this class, it goes into that fact that Satan has the power to give rulership and authority to whoever he chooses to. So if America, as we know, is the world power, just know the powers that be had to serve Satan to get it. And if you sit back here and just look at all the established moral dilemmas that each and every one of us have to climb and endure to keep growing in society, you can even see it on a smaller level. The higher up you rise in this world, the more of your morality you have to compromise. You don't have to be at the top to be dealing with Satan. You can sit back here as you gradually escalate up the ladder in success. There are certain things you got to give up of your morals and your character in order to keep rising. And these are facts too. So whether you're at the tippy top or you're gradually getting up there, how much of your spirit are you prepared to give up to get what you want? Okay. Continue in Luke.
Luke 4:7. If thou therefore...
Matter of fact, hold that. We're coming back to this. Go to Matthew 16 and 26.
Matthew chapter 16, verse 26. For what is a man profit if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
And that's the trade-off. What good is it if you profit the things you want and you get the things you want in exchange for your spirit? Because this is what Satan is offering Christ. If you sit back here and are loose on your morals and your spiritual principles, you will get a physical gain out of it. And that's the question we got to ask ourselves. This is what's being challenged in our life. We're being plagued with what we're not getting in the flesh. The answer is always here. You can get what you want in the flesh at the risk of losing your spirit. So either you're going to sit back here and deal with the annoyance of being tempted every day and choose to follow Christ, or you can give in to your temptation, get what you want in the flesh, and lose your soul in exchange. This is the choice we all have to make when we choose to serve the Most High in Christ. Does that make sense? There is a trade-off. For that bread and that kingdom, you're giving up your soul. If you want to control your environment, you're giving up your soul. If you want to control the narrative and remove yourself from your battle, you're giving up your soul. Which one do you want? Control or your spirit? Read on.
For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
Let that verse go and go back to Luke 4 and 7.
Luke 4 and 7. If thou therefore will worship me, all shall be thine.
And that's the point. And that's what eventually we end up doing when we want what we want in the flesh. You get what you want, but you compromise your spirit. You gain control. It is really about the desire for control. That's what men and women crave. Control comes in many different forms, but we're fighting for control because that's all Satan offered Christ was different levels of control. You have the power to eat, or you have the power to sit back here and govern a principality on earth. What do you want? It's the same thing for us. Do we want control on a minor level? You're still giving up your spirit. Or do you want control on a larger level? We're going to go into, as we proceed in this class, about Esau and their desire to give up their soul for power and control on a larger level. We're going to go into that. But for now, we were just explaining that we sit back here and sell our souls out for the smallest of things. A couple off days. A little more perceived freedom. But really, our perceived freedom is really slavery to the flesh. And that's what we don't see also. Our idea of freedom, you're really just being a slave to your physical impulses. You're being a slave to that wicked heart that's inside of you. And you just grow tired of fighting what's inside of you. You just give into it.
Accept it.
And accept it. But now you've lost your soul.
That's what I'm tired of. That's what we'll say is, I'm just tired of fighting.
Yep.
That's what we'll say.
Yep. But you're supposed to be vigilant. Now listen, I'm not going to go into the next part of class because it's a whole nother phase. We're going to Revelations 13. We're going to be jumping to Revelations 13 and 12 and a lot of different chapters next week. But what I will do is this. Before we finish it off, let's do 1 Peter 1 and 7. Let's do 1 Peter 1 and 7. Huh? Yeah. Because I don't want to just change the tone of the class in the midstream. It doesn't make sense. So 1 Peter 1 and 7.
1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perishes.
Matter of fact, let's do read verse 3 down.
Verse 3. Blessed be the power and Father of our Lord Yahushua, which according to his abundant mercy hath begotten us unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahushua from the dead, to an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled, and that fadeth not away, reserved in heaven for you.
So Christ's death and resurrection has given us hope for an eternal salvation. Read on.
Who are kept by the power of the Most High through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in the last time.
So what he's saying is, we are kept through faith until we get to salvation. We are kept by how well we hold on to these scriptures and how consistent we are in not giving in and feeding our flesh. Our faith is predicated on how much we cleave to the Most High. So he's saying, and that's actually in the Apocrypha, but it says, we read that part at the line again.
Come, who are kept by the power of the Most High through faith unto salvation.
So he says, we're kept by the power of the Most High through faith or cleaving to the Most High unto salvation, unto the end. Read on.
Ready to be revealed in the last time.
But you got to have faith and hold on and cleave to the Most High in Christ until salvation. Read on.
Wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptation.
So even through us holding on to faith, we all have to face these seasons in which you're facing heaviness through the manifold of temptations, the manifold of these pulls, the manifold of these scenarios and environments in your life that are really trying to bring out that fear and that doubt and that hatred or those insecurities. Read on.
That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perishes.
He's saying the test of your faith, the test of our faith, our whole life is a test or a trial on how well we cleave to the Most High in Christ. That's what this life is all about. How well do you live every day to choose to please Christ versus your feeding your fears and your doubts and your pride and your insecurity? Because you know you got Satan sitting back here just keep collecting all these reasons why you're not good enough. And the test of our faith is, can we keep racking up victories in Christ? Victories of us choosing to cleave to Him and not feed that hatred or that fear or that doubt and that pride in us. That's what this is all about. That's the test of your faith. How many days can you rack up of having clean hands, making the right decision, staying in order, thinking the right way, choosing the right thoughts, choosing the right environment around you? The trial of our faith is more precious, meaning more important than of gold that perishes. There is not a piece of gold as important as how much you fight and how much you overcome what's inside of you. Read on.
Though it be tried with fire.
That gold is tried in fire with the purpose of bringing out and eliminating all the what? The impurities. Everything we're going through. The purpose of what we're going through is to purge out the evil, not to feed it, not to fuel it. Read on.
Says, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua.
So at the end, we're supposed to go through all the experiences we're going through, even the manifold of temptations. But the temptations aren't supposed to be brought out for us to feed those temptations and take matters in our own hands. The temptations are supposed to come and we attack them and we purge this negative that's inside of us. That's what we're supposed to do leading up to the end. Leading up to seeing Christ at the end. Are any questions on this? Yes.
Perhaps like you were saying in the other class, he was the washing of your mind to fight these things. I know for me, it brings me peace when I'm on fire about a certain something that might be messing with me.
But sometimes you have to manufacture the fire. We have to manufacture. That's where it goes into that circumspectness. How sometimes you have to study yourself into it. You have to study yourself into your motivation. How many times you read a book, you don't even want to read? How many times when you're low, you want to study? When you're really down, when you're really angry, when you're really depressed. You have to study yourself to turn yourself into the motivation. Because what we'll do is, when we're motivated, hell yeah, we're studying. But in a 30-day scenario, a month, how many times are you motivated to study? You have to study yourself into motivation. You have to do it consistently enough to where you can start being able to use these scriptures to help purge out this negative versus these temptations. Bring it out and you feed it. Either you're going to feed this negative or you're going to purge it. But it's all based on how you look at it. The trial of your faith is you choosing to break what's inside of you and to control that evil that's trying to come out. And with that, when we go into this next, we're going to go into how the nations on earth have pretty much given in and they serve Satan, and how the Most High is going to deal with Satan and his armies that you read in Revelations 12. We're going to that too. Revelations, because we're going to sit. The reason we are going to Revelations 12, because the idea that Christ is fighting against Satan, we have to kind of explain that concept so people have a greater understanding of what that means in Revelations 12. We'll tap into that next week, but I don't want to go into that because it kind of veers off what we were focusing on today. All right? Listen, y'all, to Wilder for tuning in, and Shamshuan got class on Wednesday, and we'll revisit this topic next Monday, and we'll have Sabbath class like normal and Dawiyat on Friday. To Wilder for tuning in, y'all. See y'all on Wednesday. Shalom.